Hi, I want to thank Rebecca and Badmouth for coordinating this series and just express how grateful I am that we come together for things that we think are important and sustaining, like poetry. So I'm going to fix my screen a little bit. Sorry. This is a bad time of day for recordings. The sun is setting here in Las Cruces. My first poem is from a series of poems I'm writing about a woman who is also a detective and a mother. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of genre and especially detective genre. So I'm just writing my way into this interest, not completely confident I even understand why. But here's the poem. It's called Escapist. And it's sort of an introduction to this, what might be a manuscript, I don't know. Murder mysteries. I appreciate rules, such as the compassion of the officer, her secret pain, her ability to slog on through snow, traffic, or muck. And if she is thrown to the ground by someone guilty, handsome, and if he spits into her mouth as she is stunned and disheveled on the floor, she rises carefully after he has fled, feeling the ache of, the sticky of, blood of, rises so that she can continue searching for a person who is alive. Our officer might be armed with a golden charm, or a voicemail recovered, or testimony from a girl hiding the need to cut herself with bones found in a soup. Some books enter a different point of view, often the killer's, male. These I do not prefer. Also, not for me to read this part about a detective who waits in her car for a glimpse of the thug, sees nothing, and then he's hit her on the head the way her father did. In the mystery genre, all information should be available to a clever or vigilant reader. In this book, what matters to me is her slip slide tear down into a quarry, even if it's too late. See the darkening lake and the abandoned toy? My detective's boot is full of bleeding. I have found that the language surrounding um, case analysis, there's always a point in a detective show or a book where the detectives get together and discuss um, the salient details. And so this poem is commenting on that. Case analysis. Whereabouts, childhood, all import meaning to our destination as people, and I am beginning to resent it. Sure, let's more finesse, piece together, glorify his why, the why I wake sweating, why the wedged under the doorknob chair, the feeling of hand on my face. All our talk about him who used things, belts, surveillance, strength, opportunity, and why not use what's available at hand, the doors unlocked or open wide to the usual pain. All hail he who requires. I pay attention to him, the criminal, hallowed him, the immortal he to save us. And what do we women do instead of breaking others with this suffering? We suffer ourselves to the gods of water, of fire, of pills, of gas, of starve, of drink, of numb. I live on a park in Las Cruces, and there's a couple of active bird pairs in our neighborhood who come back every year, and the black-crowned night herons come back and nest in a stone pine about a block from my house, and they make a terrible racket at about dusk. Black-crowned night heron. The girl is alive. Someone caught her on video. The girl is alive, alive, alive. The woman who had fed her one night cackled at that glimpse of her face in the freezing forest, and I heard them toast her wild will. How women accepted such things when we were girls, but why should a person expect a group of men might toss her into a truck, that anyone seeing her small body walking by should talk about it with impunity? A joke? The sun rises slowly over my neighbor's back garden, where her sons rehearsed slap shots. Whack, whack, and their old dog Lola quivers on the porch, and soon my daughter will stagger toward us, thankfully forgetful, full of beauty and future pain. When the nesting herons who make such a racket at dusk took over the stone pine, we'd find small dropped frogs and fish on the street. A chick had fallen too, long-legged, speckled, and running. Its mother followed, relentless and with much shrieking from the trees. So I ask you, what to do today? Dress, commute, cook, repeat? All of these involve vignettes I've picked up from books featuring women detectives or TV shows featuring women detectives. That last poem involved a couple of scenes from The Lake with Elizabeth Moss. Singer Song. Who has faith in me? My supervisor begs me in my hotel room to kiss him. A younger woman keeps asking questions that might be cruel or necessary, but not both. The perpetrator would not have survived had I not held him in my arms, and the doctors agree, as the perennial rain, the dense rain forest, impenetrable, made rescue slow. A younger woman might have avoided such risks of attention, care, and some avoid me always. My bedraggled hair, my directness, and lack of concern for pretty things. Today, an old woman mistook me for family and said how happy she is I've finally come. I have come, finally, to this place of giving a stranger her beautiful due. Who should I refuse comfort? By my age, I cannot claim innocence. Christians stand aside when the perpetrators fall dying, and I am a woman whose feelings are not appropriate, and there are far too many of them, which I will write here. Dystopia. It's my last poem. You loved books, literary ones, about heaven and hell, the torture of men and women who are now called saint by believers. Stripped of your clothing, hair samples, you tell the officer, me, what you saw, how two men beat you to your knees in the street by the wall containing the park, deeply forested, where impossibly a family of brilliant tropical blooms perfume and thrive. These men had a gun because they knew what you did. As a girl, I loved the stories of saints, young girls, unhumbled by heathens, the fathers, the wheel. Girls made gorgeous by suffering. Take everything, they said. You will get it anyway. Thus I learned to be unafraid. A dove might fly from a saint's neck if cut. At the end of my interview, you say I do not understand what you've done, the reasons. Irrelevant. My child finds her understanding in television and post apocalyptic novels featuring young women who save our destroyed world. They run, they fight, they kiss, they invent things.